One K9 dog did what even a human couldn't do. IT was supposed to be a routine welfare check. Officer Lisa Monroe, a seasoned cop with over a decade on the force, had seen her share strange calls. But that Friday morning in October would deliver something beyond anyone's imagination. A neighbor had called in to complain about a terrible smell coming from a foreclosed home on Oak Ridge Street, a quiet, aging neighborhood on the outskirts of Millwood, Oregon. The house had been vacant for months. Or so they thought. Officer Monroe arrived with her K9 partner, a 5-year-old Belgian Malinois named Rex. The dog, known for his sharp instincts and relentless tracking skills, was restless even before they reached the porch. Something had his attention. The front door was slightly ajar. Inside, the air was heavy, stale, and strangely silent. The house was dusty and abandoned, with most of the furniture covered in sheets. As Officer Monroe stepped inside, Rex immediately bolted toward the back of the house, barking with urgency. His paws scraped against the bathroom door, claws clicking madly on the tiles as he began to scratch and whine. Officer Monroe followed quickly, weapon drawn, unsure what was behind that door. The bathroom looked ordinary at first glance. Old fixtures, a cracked mirror, and faded wallpaper. But Rex refused to leave the far wall alone. He barked, growled, and dug into the plaster, leaving behind streaks of powder and debris. That's when Monroe noticed something odd. The wallpaper didn't match the rest of the room. In fact, it looked like it had been hastily redone, covering something older and darker. Backup was called. Within an hour, a forensic team arrived and began to carefully strip away the layers of the wall. What they found chilled the entire room. Behind the flimsy plaster was a sealed-off space, just big enough for someone to fit inside. And someone had. Inside the cavity was a human skeleton, curled into a fetal position. Tattered pieces of clothing clung to the remains. There was no mistaking it. This was not an accident. It was a burial site, hidden in plain sight. Everyone in the room went silent. Rex sat quietly now, his head tilted, as if he knew the horror he had just uncovered. Dental records would later confirm the identity Melanie Carter, a woman who had gone missing in 1998 at the age of 27. Her disappearance had haunted Millwood for years. Melanie was a bright, ambitious woman studying to become a nurse. Her boyfriend at the time, Richard Hargrove, claimed she had simply left town after an argument. There was no evidence of foul play, no body, no witnesses, just silence. Melanie's family never believed she left on her own. Her mother, now 82, had lit a candle in her window every night for 25 years, praying her daughter would come home. When the police knocked on her door with the news, she broke down in sobs. Not because she had lost hope, but because the truth had finally come out. The home where Melanie's remains were found had once belonged to none other than Richard Hargrove. After Melanie disappeared, Richard had quietly sold the house and moved away. He died of a heart attack in 2015, never facing justice. The home went through several owners over the years, none of whom had any idea what secrets it held behind its bathroom wall. Until Rex came along, investigators believe Melanie was murdered and hidden within the wall during a time when the house was being remodeled in the late 90s. The new wallpaper, the patched-up tiles, it had all been done to conceal the crime. It worked. For decades, the town of Millwood was in shock. News crews arrived from across the state. People gathered near the home, leaving flowers and candles at the doorstep. Melanie Carter's name trended on social media as millions followed the story of the dog who solved a decades-old mystery. Officer Monroe held a press conference a week later. Standing beside her loyal K9, she said, "Sometimes justice comes when you least expect it." Rex followed his instincts, and because of that, a family finally has answers. Melanie wasn't forgotten. She was just waiting to be found. Rex was honored by the department with a Medal of Bravery. He was given a standing ovation by officers, city officials, and Melanie's family, who called him a true angel with paws. For Officer Monroe, it was a reminder why she had joined the force in the first place. To speak for the voiceless, Melanie's remains were laid to rest in a small ceremony attended by friends, family, and even strangers who had followed her story. Her mother, holding a photo of her daughter as a young woman, said quietly, "I knew she never left me. I just didn't know how close she'd always been." The bathroom where she was found was demolished during an investigation, but the space will never be forgotten. A plaque was later placed in the town square, reading, "In memory of Melanie Carter, 1971, 1998, buried in silence, found by loyalty." And so, what began as a simple welfare check turned into the closing chapter of a decades-long mystery. A dog scratched a wall and revealed the truth that had been hidden for far too long. Like the video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you can receive notifications of every new video.